This is Priyanka Sarkar, and welcome to the Sports Soul, a space where we explore the real stories and emotions behind strength in sports and in life.
This episode is special because today we have a psychiatrist and a de-addiction specialist, Dr. Praveen, who will take us through what is de-addiction and the mental health behind de-addiction. Dr. Praveen, thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. And before we get started, can you please help us understand a little about you and what you do, please?
Hi, Priyanka, and thanks for inviting me. I'm Dr. Praveen. I completed my psychiatry in KMC Warangal, which was I passed in 2022. From then on, I'm working in a DMHP, which is a District Mental Health Program, which is a part of National Mental Health Program, and it includes not just the treatment of the patients. I love about my work is I interact with the kids, where I visit the schools, I visit the homes, and it does take care of the geriatric department too. So it's not just the patients who walk into our OP. So we just walk to them and we talk to them. We do what the better can. So this is where I feel fulfilled, where creating awareness make a lot of difference rather than treating it. So this is what normal saying, right? Where prevention is better than the cure.
Yes.
It does matter in the mental health too.
So, may I know when does online gaming become an addiction?
See, we generally see the parents saying that my kid is addicted to the games.
Yeah.
So, to call someone addicted, there are some guidelines, right? We can't just say someone who is just playing, he's addicted. It is about not the duration child is involved in the gaming, it is about the functional impairment does decide he's addicted. Maybe it could be over involvement or over engagement with the gaming or unhealthy dependence. And then the stage of the addiction comes in. So everyone has some other childhood time. We all play the games.
Yes, yes.
So it is a kind of coping mechanism. It kind of clearing our boredom or loneliness. So this is how we engage ourselves in the game. It is a kind of a practice where outdoor games and indoor games, the indoor games is a part, is a video game, right?
Yes.
In the childhood, we have a TV, but now we have it in the phone.
Yes.
The availability of the networking, the availability of the technology has increased. So the gaming practices is also increased. So just using an addiction word would not be justified. How it is impacting their daily life, how it is impacting their daily sleep or appetite or the social thing is all kind of determined he is addicted or not. Just passing on the depression, addiction would not justify.
Let's say ఒక 10 years babu gani, even if it is a 15 years old or 18 years old for that matter, if they are spending a considerable amount of time on the phone or PCs or games, let's say 2-3 gantalu every day, but they do also have other they are okay with their regular school, college and everything. Can we call it an addiction?
Absolutely no.
No.
No. It would be called somewhere high engagement.
Okay.
You're saying like in a 2 to 3 hours. It is not normal. You know that. So just basically our attention span is 20 minutes. But you need to understand the gaming has a high stimulus signaling.
Yes.
Where your brain likes it. Ultimately, it will be landing to the dopamine. So where you feel good, you will be doing it. And that is where it will be engaging. So one thing, that is what just now I mentioned, it is about the functionality. So high dependence could be a problem, where dependence, if you want to call them they are addicted, then it has to be a duration of the 12 months where the child, the social life is affected, the emotional thing is affected, where he is irritated sometimes, where he is low without the game, where he is not able to socially interact with other, where his school performance has been declined. Then you can say it. It's not about the duration, it's not about the age. And trust me, you can't just say that the kids who are under 18 are to the gaming thing, gaming addiction or something. But gaming has been a practice, and the gaming has been going on to the ages of 33 and 35.
Yeah. Yes.
We know that this is a sport which is evolving right now.
Yes.
And that is being a good profession for them. So it is about how reality check the child is having about it. how plan he has about the game. If he is doing everything good, he is good at the academics, and then still he's playing video games, that wouldn't be any problem.
Okay.
If it is not compromising with the real life things, then the gaming a short duration of time where he find it as a recreation thing, not an escape from the reality. That has to be understood from the parent point of view.
When, in spite of all this understanding, there are still parents who say, Mona Bidda has become addicted. And when they say, my son or my daughter is addicted, what is that they are seeing and what is that they actually are afraid of?
See, మనం వచ్చిన బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ నుంచి ఆడుకోవడం అనేది పేరెంట్స్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో వేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ టైం. సో సక్సెస్ అనేది స్టడీ పరంగా, నువ్వు స్టడీ మంచిగా చెయ్యి, స్టడీలో మంచి మార్కులు తెచ్చుకో, దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ద పేరెంట్స్ సీ. బట్ you're missing on it. You're missing on the kids what he's facing. Maybe he's facing real life things where he might be having an issue with the confidence, or maybe the self-esteem issue ఉందా, or లేకపోతే social communication issue ఉందా, or లేకపోతే relationship formation issue ఉందా, or coping skills సరిగ్గా బిల్డ్ అవుతున్నాయా లేవా. మనం ఏం చూస్తున్నాం ఇక్కడ, గేమింగ్ ఒక్కటే ఆడుతున్నాడు అని చూస్తున్నాం. బట్ మనం అర్థం చేసుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే డౌన్ ద లేన్ ఆ గేమింగ్కి ఎందుకు వెళ్తున్నాడు అంటే, ఇవి అంటే ఒకవేళ ఎమోషనల్ థింగ్ అడ్రస్ అవ్వట్లేదు, పీపుల్తో ఎంగేజ్ అవ్వట్లేదు, or people are being judgmental thing where he is not having the skills. See, it has to be built over the age.
Yes.
He will develop over the age. The social skills or the emotional factors, the emotional IQ we call it, that is developed over the time. So rather than saying that my kid is getting addicted to the gaming, see that what is making him to go to the game.
Yes.
Is he's really able to interact with another child? He's really able to communicate it. Is feeling any social anxiety. Until you address this thing, you can't stop the kid going to the game.
Exactly.
Because it is his coping mechanism.
Yeah.
You can't pull up the coping mechanism from the kid
Yes.
and expect him to be normal. You can't do that. You have to really engaging with the kid, understanding what they are going to do if you want to remove the kid from the gaming practice. I would not say the addiction, the gaming practice.
So that answers my next question. You said, so gaming is not the problem. The problem is with the way the child is coping.
Exactly.
Because when the kids are young, parents give them the screens or whatever it is because they want, no disrespect, because parenting is not easy. Koncham time. We have working parents today and they say, okay, I want a breather, I have to take this call immediately, so I'll give him the phone. That is how it starts. At this point in time, may I ask, apart from giving phones or screens, for those parents who are working and who have to take that important call so that the child can see the child within their vicinity and keep the child distracted for those 10-15 minutes. Apart from screens, are there any other ways that we can keep the child distracted? Books iste chimpestadu, pens iste floor మీద రాసేస్తాడు. Do we have any other ways to fix this?
See, I'm happy that you brought this point where right now we are seeing the rise of the digital autism.
Yes.
So where the communication has to be the bidirectional, where the kid age is something where he observes the environment signals, maybe the verbal, maybe the visual, maybe the auditory. That is where his personality is made. So as you questioned, is there any way where we can engage the kid? Yes, where you can engage with the proper toys, where the puzzle games, where our brain is something where when it is challenged, it can do. Where the simple puzzle, where you can reward the kid, when you completed the puzzle, I can reward you with something good to eat, or maybe we can go out for a walk, where we can play some game together. So if you are engaged in your work, please do engage your kid in which isn't productive and which will be helpful for him to communicate or to kill his boredom, rather than just giving a high stimulus signals. So this is what we are seeing, where when a kid is exposed to the phone for the longer time, where the signals are really high, where they're really sensitive, where the kid brain is really sensitive, and if it is getting used to it, it is really going to be hard to take away the stimulus from him.
Yes.
Because his brain is tuned up with it. Most of the parents bring the child to us. My child is using the phone excessively. Then who was the one to introduce to them?
Yeah.
Because you were busy, you want to do your work in the kitchen, you want to work in your laptop, So you have given it to it. You are feeding the phone to the kid and expect him to not to use it. No. If you want to cut down his screen time, take him to the real world.
Yes.
Just take him at least 1 hour in the evening where you can take him to the ground, where you can feel the soil, where you can feel the air, where we can see the nature, where you can interact with the other child. So automatically when you introduce them to the real life entertainment and engagement things, obviously the screen, which was a minimal thing, it can be minimized. So the brain signaling or the networking which is tuned to the phone or the networking or the gaming has to be diverted to the productive thing which is naturally can happen. So it can be a social play, which can be a role play thing where you can play with the kids, where at the doctor game, doctor patient game, they can have it. So interacting with the kids, the early engagement of the kids. So in US we can see the kids where after the 1 year pass, they drop into the home, they drop into the care centers where they can interact with the kids. So if you are having a hard time to manage being a working professionals, where you can drop into the kid where they will be engaging with the other kids and they will be all modality developmental of the kid. So it doesn't happen in a single day. I know it is hard for the parents to manage a kid, but there are other ways rather than the screen to keep the child mental health in a really good shape for the future. Baby.
Yeah. Reminds me of a very funny incident when it happened. I was very young. My mom was an English lecturer. Dad was also an employee. Dad used to come home late. I was the eldest child. I'm the eldest child. So, mommy used to bring the exam papers home. She used to correct them. And I would be the only child, right? Hardly 1 year old. So, to keep me distracted, she just gave me a pen and a paper, but I was scribbling something.
Exactly.
So, because it was not making any sense what I was trying to scribble, she just wrote an A and gave it to me. And I immediately wrote an A next to it and gave. And then she decided, oh my God, my girl is a very good, intelligent girl. She kept that paper for keepsake. She brought it to my dad and my dad gave me 100 rupees. So I spent it for something else, like eating and all. That pattern, so if mommy teaches me something, I learn it immediately. She rewards me and dad gives me something. That pattern of learning and being rewarded developed in such a way that when she said, years later, when she said, why don't you do your master's? I asked, what for me? She said, I'll fund your master's. And there was a prize in it. And, she never gave me a phone or a TV. We still ask for permission at home. Mommy, can I switch on the TV? Daddy, can you please turn on the TV?
Exactly.
Even at this age, we still do that. Maybe that is what children, parents can do. I'm not saying, listen to my mom or how intelligent I am, or it's not nothing like that. Maybe when you're saying we just feed our children.
Exactly.
So maybe this is what we can absolutely feed.
That is how. See, everyone has a hobbies in the childhood.
Yes.
Even you had, I guess, some of the thing. Even I had a drawing where my most of the time was sketching, coloring. Where over our professional thing, we lose it.
Yes.
So if you could engage some productive thing, maybe the coloring, maybe the singing, maybe the dancing, or maybe any activity which would help his cognition, where he's improving his cognition, where he's improving his focus. So obviously, whatever the deficit or whatever the issues we are facing with the studies right now can be minimized. And as you mentioned, whatever the practices which we learn in the childhood will be carried into the adulthood.
Yes.
And that is how we become into the disciplined adult. Discipline can't be inculcated just like that.
Yes.
It has to be innate and you will grow it over the time. You polish.
Yes.
And you improve.
Very
you
true.
apply the practices, whatever you're learning in the childhood, in the adulthood too. And you don't keep it to that practice where this is the reward system. See, our brain works on the reward.
Yes.
For everything, even if you are sitting in a class where you like a class and you feel better, where your brain is liking it, and it gives some chemical which is called a dopamine.
Yes.
Simple, right? So the dopamine is something which is, if you are practicing in a good way, your brain loves to do it. You walk, your dopamine is increased. You read, your dopamine is increased. You're playing some cricket, your dopamine is increased. Some good marks, your dopamine increases. You eat a good food, it increases. This is a positive ways where you can increase the dopamine, but it doesn't happen a single day.
Yes, true.
It happens to be incremental and created where it comes to the phones, where it comes to the Instagram, where it comes to the game, if it is addiction level, where it comes to the reels, where it is an instantaneous
Yes.
surge of a dopamine.
Gratification. Yeah.
So just understand here where you can put a kid into the incremental dopamine, which can be sustained for the longer time, and where you're dropping into the kid where the signals are intense
Yeah.
and the short term, and where there is a withdrawal. Where when you are trying to remove the kid from the high intense stimulus, when you're removing, obviously the kid gonna show the tantrums, right?
Yes.
And you
yes.
see that is irritability, aggression, and not able to focus because the brain is getting tuned up. Let them do get addicted to these things where instantaneous. Instead of them, show them the thing which is sustaining and long lasting. That is how you mold the child's brain, which is going to be helping them for the adulthood too.
Yeah.
So not instantaneous, the long term.
Beautiful. Let's say now the parent, ఎవరైతే they decided, okay, this did not happen it in a day. So let's cut down on online gaming for the child. And now the parent decides to do that. What is that one emotion, first emotion that shows up in the child?
Aggression.
Okay.
Simple. As we spoke about it, వాడి కోపింగ్ మెకానిజం అది. వాడికి బాధ వేసినప్పుడు గేమ్ ఆడేవాడు, వాడికి బోర్ కొట్టినప్పుడు గేమ్ ఆడేవాడు, ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఎవరు మాట్లాడినప్పుడు గేమ్ ఆడేవాడు, సోషల్ యాంగ్జైటీ ఆర్ సరిగా పర్ఫార్మ్ చేయలేకవాడు గేమ్ ఆడుకునేవాడు. సో ఏ బాధ అయినా నేను గేమ్తోనే దాంట్లో నేను చూసుకునేవాడిని. అండ్ గేమ్లో నాకు ఎలా అంటే అక్కడ జడ్జ్మెంట్ లేదు, నాకు అక్కడ వాల్యూ ఉంది, నేను అక్కడ మాస్టర్, ఐ కెన్ డూ బెస్ట్ ఓవర్ ఇట్, అక్కడ వ్యాలిడేషన్ ఉంది అండ్ కాంపిటెన్స్ నా స్ట్రాంగ్ ఉంది, వేర్ ఐ బిలాంగ్. So you're removing the kid from where he is belonging and you're cutting down. See, cutting down and completely removing it won't help it. Where you have to involve the other things, where a replacement, where engaging kid in other things. And you need to address this, whatever we are talking about. It may be fear of shame, or fear of failure, or fear of rejection, fear of a social anxiety, or maybe the family issues or the relationship issue, what he is facing. Focus on them, not just on the gaming, the behavior. Behavior is not the problem.
Yeah.
What the issues is facing is more problem.
Yeah.
The emotional turmoil is more bigger than the gaming, what you are saying. So don't just see on the gaming.
In spite of all this, there are heavy gamers. What do you think those heavy gamers are going through in real life? The same things?
I'll say this has two phases where they are really sensitive and they will be highly functional and they are intelligent. And they are the problem solver because if you can give the game, which is challenging, and they will find a route to clear it. So they are good with some skills. When it comes to the real life, they have issue with the face-to-face conversations and the fear of rejections.
Yeah.
And fear of failure, fear of the judgment, and they won't like this. They don't have this autonomy of a real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where in the gaming, they can stop it and they can play whenever it want. Whenever it comes to the academic or anything, it is not in their control. And they feel it is monotonous, where they get bored with it. So the real life struggle is a bit problematic in who are mostly engaging in the gaming. So the real life issues will be seen, where they will be sensitive to the emotions, or maybe they will be having a frequent change of the mood swings you can see onto them. Maybe have a depressive symptoms or anxiety can be surfaced if they are stopping the gaming. So it is an issue with their mental capabilities. So that is where the real life issues will be surfaced when the gamer try to stop it and getting back to the real life. That is what they are fear to lose the gaming, even if they know that it consumes a lot of time and they're consuming a lot of emotions and they are not able to mingle up with the real life people or real life interactions or partying. Still they can't be coming out of it because the brain is getting tuned to it. So they have to work on the real life things too, and it doesn't happen a single day.
So along with gaming addiction, what are the other mental health issues that these kids or even adults might be going through?
Yeah. So as we said that the gaming is kind of a behavior addiction, we consider it as. So any behavior is reinforced with the dopamine. So the child who might have an ADHD down the line, where his brain is difficulty to focus, he's hyperactive. So the real life things feels boring for him. Obviously the game is going to be engaging him, is a thrill seeking and the challenging. So the child is more interested in the gaming. So the ADHD can be one. With the autism, they have the communication issues, the real life communication. So, but in the IQ is really good. They are going to be smart. The autism doesn't determine their IQ levels. So they have a good IQ and they are talented. So if they are not having a communication, if you have a communication issue in the real life, obviously the autistic kid will be good at the gaming. So that is where. And if a depressive, where I can't go out, the only thing where I can kill my time is the phone, where the gaming will be giving me a token of dopamine, where I'll feel good, where I'll feel someone is talking to me, where someone is engaging. So obviously that is where. And the anxiety, the social anxiety, where they feel the competence, they feel the belonging in the gaming world. They feel they are the in charge and they feel the autonomy, they feel the mastery. So the anxiety in the real life can be the mastery in the gaming. So down the lane, this can be where the autism, the ADHD, depression, the social anxiety, there are a number of the things where may be covered just by the gaming. But until you answer these conditions, the gaming cannot be answered.
Okay. So why do punishments or strict restrictions make the condition worse? And why? You said because when I asked what is the first emotion, you said aggression. So how does it make it more worse, or why does it make more worse?
See, we need to understand one thing. Gaming is a behavior where we are saying it as a coping skill, where the kid is finding it a comfort zone. So if you're trying to just restrict, obviously the coping skill has been eliminated from his thing. So the aggression, the boredom, the loneliness, the self-esteem or emotional regulation issues or the frustration control, these things are where the child is not mastered. So these things has to be addressed. Where you say the gaming, no, gaming is just a symptom. I would say that it's just a symptom. Down the line, these are the things which you need to matter. Until you make him understand and bring him slowly, where then the gaming will be a channel. Where, see, we see the gaming only the high intents, but there are the good games where the puzzles, right? They are the real life virtual gaming, right? And trust me, in the future, you're going to be in the psychiatry using gaming. Where the real life atmosphere can be created, where we do, there's some cases where we do treat a virtual reality, where create an anxiety atmosphere, where whatever the fears they are, provide the stimulus in the graded way. So the gaming would be a channel between the fear and to the reality life. So not directly dampening or dropping into the real world, where you can expose through the gaming kind of a thing, and you can just bring him to the real life. I'm telling you, the cognition can be improved by the gaming. There's something called a neurofeedback mechanism.
Yes.
Where neurofeedback mechanism where the brain works on what it is. So I've seen some cases where the epilepsy or the other condition like encephalitis, where the neurofeedback mechanism is working, where the brain is involved. Your visual stimulus allows the toy to move. When you are focusing, there is a screen where you can have to focus, and it is EEG where it is connected, where the stimulus has been can be gathered onto the monitor, where the child is able to focus, the toy move ahead. So how much the duration the child is able to engage. So don't see the gaming as something which is spoiling the kid. It could be a coping. If it is over, where the child is, as we spoke about, the functionality is affected, then you need to be addressed. But don't just blame the gaming for your child behavior. There is underlying causes where you need to be addressed.
You said underlying causes. So I want to bring a very common topic, which is academic pressure. So I want to understand, because this episode came from a article that I read. A father who has 3 children were addicted to Korean dramas or serials. And they were not going to school because the father could not afford their school fees or something. While coping was only their interaction with the world was only through K-pop or K-dramas. And when the phone was taken, they jumped off from the building. Now there is this lack of interaction with the world, but there is also what we call as academic pressure. Is academic pressure also one of the reasons, or is academic pressure pushing children towards gaming addiction?
We came from the generation, మనం వచ్చిన జనరేషన్ ఎట్లాంటిదంటే చదువుకోవాలా, జాబ్ చేసుకోవాలి. బట్ ప్రెసెంట్లీ ఉన్న జనరేషన్కి there is a multiple choices of their profession. So you can't just see your perception and expect the child to have the same person.
Yes.
So really, the academics is going to be a pressuring if the child is not liking. See, academics are important, but it's not about the marks. You need to make sure that how much the child is liking it, how well he is able to cope up. Is the academics is overburdening his mental status, or he's having an issue with the studying, or he might be having some learning disabilities, or he is having some anxiety issues. So academic pressure అనేది ఉంటుంది, బట్ అదొక రోజులో బిల్డ్ అవ్వదు. సో ఎంత సపోర్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం పిల్లలకి, ఎంత రియలిస్టిక్ థింగ్స్ నేర్పిస్తున్నాం. మనం స్టడీని మార్క్స్ కోసమే చదువుతున్నాం, ఆర్ అదే విధంగా నేర్చుకుంటాం, మార్క్స్ రావాలి కాదు. డైలీ చదివేటప్పుడు ఏం నేర్చుకున్నాం ఇవాళ, మేక్ ఇట్ లైక్ ఎ గేమ్, రైట్? సో యూ లెర్న్ సంథింగ్ ఇన్ క్లాస్, ఇంటికి వచ్చిన తర్వాత పిల్లల్ని ఇలా ఏం నేర్చుకున్నాం, మేబీ ద మ్యాథ్స్ పజిల్, యూ కెన్ క్రియేట్ అ మ్యాథ్స్ గేమ్, రైట్? యూ కెన్ క్రియేట్ ఇంగ్లీష్ జంబుల్ వర్డ్ గేమ్, రైట్? So some poetry telling, right? The singing thing, right? So why can't we make a academic thing also a playful thing where the child will feel this is a purpose, where okay, I'm enjoying this, and enjoy చేస్తూ చదువుకోవడం అనేది ఉంటుంది. బట్ అలా కాకుండా రూల్స్ అండ్ ఓవర్ monitoring, where over pressurizing and over estimated targets. Now it is like that, right?
Yes.
IIT అవ్వాలి, డాక్టర్ అవ్వాలి, ఆర్ ఇంజనీర్ అవ్వాలి. మరి మిగతా ఏంటి? వేరే వాటిలో సింగింగ్ ఉన్నారు, ఆర్ మేబీ హీఈస్ మ్యూజిషియన్, or maybe he's a influencer. Some people we see it, maybe the good influencers. I don't say it everyone. There's a noise, so everything. So he might be good something, where find the qualities which isn't. See, prokavela ADHD kid, I'll just give a good example for it. See, ADHD kid unnado, వాడికి ఒక దగ్గర కూర్చొని వాడి బ్రెయిన్ కోఆపరేట్ చేయదు. వాడికి నువ్వు బుక్ ఇచ్చేసి కంప్లీట్ చేయాలంటే వాడికి మేబీ హైపర్ యాక్టివ్ ఓవర్ ద ఏజ్ తగ్గుతుంది, వాడి అటెన్షన్ స్పాన్ ఎక్కువసేపు ఉండదు, బికాస్ ఆ బ్రెయిన్ అట్యూన్ అయ్యింది. అలాంటి వాడిని నువ్వు తీసుకెళ్ళి నువ్వు 1-2 గంటలు కూర్చో అంటే అది కుదరదు. అదే వాడిని తీసుకెళ్ళేసి ఒక క్రికెట్ గ్రౌండ్ లో పెట్టు, ఒక ఫుట్బాల్ గ్రౌండ్ లో పెట్టు, హీ వుడ్ బి ద బెస్ట్ ప్లేయర్. See what the child is fitting into it. ఎక్కడ బిలాంగింగ్ అవుతున్నాడు, వాడికి బిలాంగింగ్ అనే ప్లేస్ లో పెడితే హీ విల్ బి ఎక్సెలింగ్. Ultimately, he has to be satisfied about his life, right?
Yes.
So keep him engaged in the activities along with his studies. You don't have to cut down everything. See, this addiction things why happen because you're not exposing the kids to the real life games. వాడికి నువ్వు ఒక డేని డివైడ్ చేసి ఒక వీక్లో ఒక 1-2 days నువ్వు రియల్ లైఫ్ స్విమ్మింగ్ కా, ఆర్ లైక్ సమ్ ఏదో కరాటే క్లాసెస్ కా, ఆర్ సమ్ స్పోర్ట్స్ క్లబ్ ఉంటుంది, స్పోర్ట్స్ క్లబ్లో జాయిన్ చేస్తున్నావా. సో ఆల్రెడీ వాడికి కావాల్సిన డోపమైన్ రియల్ లైఫ్ నుంచి వస్తుంటే గేమ్స్ దగ్గరికి ఎందుకు వెళ్తాడు? సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ వాడికి ఎకడమిక్స్కి వెళ్ళిపోయింది. స్టడీస్ ఒకటి అచీవ్ చేయడం కుదరదు, వేర్ అది అన్నీ ఉండాలి, వేర్ నీ బ్రెయిన్ యాక్టివ్ ఉండాలి, నీ బాడీ యాక్టివ్ ఉండాలి, నీ స్లీప్ బాగుండాలి, అప్పుడు స్టడీస్కి వస్తుంది. నువ్వు ఇవన్నీ చేయకుండా ఓన్లీ చదువు అంటే నీ బ్రెయిన్లో అది లేదు, నీ బ్రెయిన్ ఫోకస్ చేయడానికి కావట్లేదు, నీ బ్రెయిన్కి ఆ ఎఫర్ట్ దొరకట్లేదు, అది కావాల్సిన థింగ్ దానికి రిసోర్సెస్ దొరకట్లేవు. సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ ఫోకస్, అటెన్షన్, మెమరీ ఇష్యూస్ అండ్ ద చైల్డ్ విల్ బీ ఎవల్సివ్ టు ద స్టడీస్. సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ ఎవల్షన్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. అందు గురించి ఈజీగా గేమ్స్ దగ్గరికి బికాస్ అవైలబుల్ ఉన్నాయి ఫోన్, అలా వచ్చేస్తుంది. అండ్ దిస్ ఈస్ వాట్ వీఆర్ ఫేసింగ్ right now, where over expectations and over monitoring and being monitoring, like we deciding their lives. I know we have to guide the child, but guide with the meaning. Show the purpose. They will understand. Keep it in the understanding where the child will be accepting it. You can't force. You can't force it. But if you are able to put it in a right way, now the kids are really smart. They have a better view of a life. They are finding the purpose. So give them the way they understand, not what you want.
What does recovery look like in a child who is addicted to gaming?
Recovery is something where the child is coming to the real life. Exactly. So he himself will be stop using the phone the more number of not like a longer time, where he will be starting the conversation, where he will be starting real life activities where he find the purpose and the meaningful. So it is not happening with the force, it is happening with the voluntary. So acknowledge the voluntary thing which he is doing and appreciate it, and appreciating the thing would reinforce it.
Ikkada I'll ask you something important. Now you've done your part. The kid is out of addiction. Now his coping mechanism should be his support system.
Exactly.
Now I want to ask you, what should this support system or the families or the teachers or anybody do that they come halfway? అంటే చైల్డ్ రికవర్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత మనం ఇఫ్ వీ డోంట్ కమ్ హాఫ్ ద వే, ఒకవేళ మనం ఆ రిలేషన్ని సస్టైన్ చేయకపోతే, నేను ఆడడం మానేశాను కానీ మా మమ్మీ డాడీ లేరు, టీచర్స్ ఇంకేదో ఉన్నారు, ఫ్రెండ్స్ లేరు, అపార్ట్మెంట్ లో పెట్టేసి వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారు, నాకు ఇంకేముంది, ఐల్ గో బ్యాక్ టు గేమింగ్. ఒక పావు గంట, ఎందుకంటే డాక్టర్ వద్దన్నారు కాబట్టి, తర్వాత ఒక అరగంట, ఇట్ బికమ్స్ అ హోల్ థింగ్ అగైన్. నౌ మై క్వశ్చన్ ఈస్, సొసైటీ రోల్ ఎలా ఉండాలి? హౌ డూ పేరెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ కిడ్స్ హూ హ్యావ్ రికవర్డ్, వాళ్ళు ఏం చేయాలి? అండ్ సొసైటీ, వాట్ షుడ్ ఇట్ బి డూయింగ్? ఫ్యామిలీ, ఫ్రెండ్స్, పేరెంట్స్, టీచర్స్, కోచెస్, ఎవ్రీబడి, వాట్ ఈస్ దేర్ రోల్ ఇన్ హెల్పింగ్ ద చైల్డ్ నాట్ going back to the same thing again?
Exactly. First thing, you have to understand them. Understand their perception, understand what they want. See, they are asking the real life engagement, and it is our responsibility to keep them engaged. Even if it's a parent, it is their responsibility to keep them engaged in the real life activities and be available to them when they want to talk. Be available to them with the relationship, whatever that they are into it, or be available for the emotional support, or be available for them if they are facing the real life issues, because as you are saying, they are coming out of some addiction. Obviously they will be having a difficulty to face in the real life. So be there for them whenever they are need. And it roles of a teacher, yes, appreciate the little things which they are achieving. In the initial days, they might be having a difficulty to cope up with the real life things. So a little thing, if they are able to do it and if they are happy with it, appreciate it. The reinforcement things would be enhancing their real life behavior rather than pushing them back to the gaming. So understanding, supporting, and being available to them when they need, and exposing them to the real life opportunities and making them understand the failure. That's what. Why do the people go back to the gaming? Is there's always a restart in the game, right?
Yeah,
If you fail,
yes.
I restart, I challenge it. So they kind of get tuned to it. The real life failures are fearful. The fear of failure.
Yeah.
So if you can make them understand, failure is not something which is stopping. It is something where you're learning, where you're something which is missing. If you correct it, you can achieve. So, and don't pathologize the gaming. It could be a coping skill where if it is in a limit, it can be okay. It is okay, but not to excess.
ఇప్పుడు esports is a good thing,
Exactly.
I also work with esports players. They start off with various reasons, but then with coping mechanism, then they realize, okay, మేము ఇందులో ఆడగలుగుతున్నాము, let's excel. So when people are addicted, they're shamed.
Exactly.
They're immediately brought and blamed. First thing ఏంటంటే, they don't say, అరే మా అబ్బాయి అమ్మాయి వీడియో గేమ్స్ బాగా ఆడుతున్నారు. They don't say. The first thing is a blame, and it causes shame, guilt. But with the way that these online games that are intellectual, the way you said, and neurofeedback, you said, focus on the toy moves, and with esports coming, identity shift. Do you see an identity shift in these kids who are being blamed? Do you kind of see any self-worth being attached to it if used the right way?
Yeah, this is what we are seeing in the real life gaming practices who are engaging in it. See, the first thing, they're being shamed.
Yeah.
First thing, they're being judged. So if you are shaming them and judging them and feeling them, seeing them, they are not doing anything purposeful or something which is good, obviously they feel not belonging to the real life. They feel the belonging there. They feel they are competent there, and they feel their mastery there, and they feel they're being recognized. First thing, the gamers who come to us are, they need me. It's kind of, the gamers need me. I'm good at it, and I'm good only at this, and I can do some career in this where I find a future in it. So rather than just discarding the thoughts, okay, beta, if you're having it, then we can try it. But still, you need the formal education to write. Try to be subtle with the kid rather than just shaming him. That will push him away from the real life thing. Rather than that, you can acknowledge his thoughts, acknowledge his ideas, and support him and give him a chance to excel in it. And if it is not working, be as a plan of the plan B, where he can come back and do something, where every time it is not about achieving about it.
Yes.
We kind of feel we are not trying it. So we feel bad when we don't try it. Let them try it. If it is in the minimals, let them, what is a healthy way of doing it? What is an unhealthy way of it? So rather than shaming them, rather than judging them, being there, being supporting, and giving the reality check would help them.
So I'll conclude this with one question. Now, if there are parents who are watching this, now they get a totally different perspective of what happens or what is the reason behind addiction. Now, there might be parents who might feel a little guilty. Idi jarugutundi, I should have checked it. I want to ask you if there is one thing that you would like to tell parents, what is that? And are there any signs that we can understand that this is where it's shifting from just coping to addiction? So that the parents can stop it there and prevent it from getting into addiction. So 2 questions, and I would be glad if you can answer them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we have a different prospect of the gaming, but don't see the gaming as an addiction. See that the mental status of the child, as we spoke about, the child might be facing about the loneliness or the boredom, the fearfulness of a real life, maybe the communication issues or the social anxiety, maybe the depression. So anything he might be facing. So address them, be available. So this is how you support your child. And if you are, see, there is something called engagement. There is called a highly engagement. There's something called dependence pattern. Then you call an addiction. If the child is playing, and if it is a recreation, it's okay. It should not be an escape. If he feels it's rewarding, then channel it up. Maybe you can give him a task. Better study for the 3 hours. Then you can play for like 15 to 20 minutes. The child will complete the 3 hours of the study. Then he'll feel rewarded. Yes. So you can support it, and later you can shift him to that. It can't be. See, that's what we are saying. The gaming can help to transit from the fears to the practices of the real life. So it should be used as a tool. I'll say that use a game as a tool to bring your kid to the real life and expose him to the real life challenges, real life coping skills, and the real life opportunities what they have, and the real life the ways to increase the dopamine. It ultimately the dependence or any behavior patterns are reinforced by the dopamine, right? So try to help the kid to increase his dopamine and the sources of the dopamine in the natural ways. The gaming or the proper sleep or the proper support, the emotional support, this will help the kid, not just eliminating the gaming.
That is what I want you to take back away from this episode, that gaming is not always the enemy. It's the child's way of coping with the pain. And if you take away the tool, the pain will come back in some other form. And as parents, teachers, leaders, our job is to understand the source of the pain and figure out ways how we can help them cope up with what they're going through. Thank you so much, Dr. Praveen, for doing this with me, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Priyanka.